To think of it worthy of oneself to be God of light and to condescend the feeling of prosperity. The living God thinks of it worthy of oneself to be God of light and to vouchsafe to think fit. To be a story is to be prism, a female of Joachim exalted by God and is of Hebrew origin, holds the holy seed in which is the substance of the children of Israel, much like the trill and oak trees that shed and appears to be dead, but they carry their life-giving substance in her hand, and in time, when it is right, they shall bloom. A female of Joachim, exalted by God, walks in the light of God. Our spirits of ancient Hebrew word
Enochu Eloheim
have lamented. God shall live. What one of many Hebrews, elegancy, chanted on the 9th of Ab said, "Never think of it unworthy of oneself to be God of light, and not to think of yourself fit to feel prosperous. You are vouched for." The message you just heard is a literal translation from a message that you are about to hear in Hebrew.
Enochu Eloheim Ishnadain
Enochu Eloheim. This is dedicated to the living God. They're not referring to themselves. They're referring to all of you, all of us. We are the living God, and it is dedicated to us. Ishnadain. To think of it worthy of oneself to be God of light, and to condescend the feeling of prosperity. At first I was very apprehensive about sending this one out because it makes me feel very exposed, and at first I did not know if I was speaking a language and if I was speaking gibberish. I later found out that yes, it is a language and it is Hebrew. Some of you would know it as speaking in tongues, and it is obviously a real thing. I spent most of the day translating this for you.
Eloheim Ishnadain Ikinilais Ikanalisim Akinatile Akina Uri Asimanakina Adira Makinasi Ishnadainai Are we not all the same?
See, right there, when I paused, I literally felt whoever that energy was leave out of my body, and this one came in. The impression that I got when he said, "Are we not all the same?" means that person or being could be speaking Hebrew and coming from a different world, but we're all the same at the end. Ekaniles, ekanilisium. What that literally means is to be a story is to be in your own prison. It's our story that has us be in our own hell. And the reverse is it can be a heaven for us. What is the story?
Who we are. We put so much emphasis on taking care of your body. Because it has a lot to do what is manifesting and going on internally. Let's just talk about the physiology, the physical aspect of what food does. Linda is no different and has no special gifts at being able to channel and access the higher realms, dimensions. You all have that access as well. What you do when no one's looking, specifically the food, that alone distorts perception. We would like to discuss what no one is discussing, and that is your food, what you put in your body. We use many things to assist you in discovering more about yourself. The more you discover about yourself, the better understanding that you have at controlling yourself. It is only today Linda discovered why she loves to get these various homeopathic medicinal work done on her, from acupuncture to myofascial release to deep tissue massage to these are all ways in assisting the body. We showed her through the astrology that Chiron was in Taurus, and Taurus is a sign that rules your physical senses, the five senses. And if you have Chiron in Taurus, you heal your body through the use of your five senses. This is what we mean. Whatever we can use, whether it be books, friends, songs, anything to help you find more about you to shine that light. And it is in the environment that we're able to channel and communicate with you more effectively. The more you give up your agenda, the easier and smoother the process will be. She also read today regarding Hercules and someone that the Greek mythology was fighting, and it was some creature with 10 heads, and it was analogous to the sign Scorpio, not the monster, but the story, or the Greek god, the Hercules, was analogous to Scorpio's sign in a sense that Hercules was told to kill this creature, and each time he cut off the head of the creature, the head grew back. And the whole moral of the story was to beat the creature sometimes, put the sword down and surrender to it. That's how you win. And what could you surrender to, you say? Well, surrender to your perceptions of how things should go. That's what, as a big one for Linda, she demanding how things should go a certain way. What is that called? The giving things up of how it should be. Expectations. When you give up expectations, well, it frees up everything. And giving up any emotion. And some of you, when we mean by giving it up, this is going to sound shocking to you, but giving it up means being mad or being sad, or usually you resist or avoid feeling a certain way. Give it up. When you give it up and surrender to it and allow it to go through your body instead of being stuck in the body, in the energy systems, then it won't linger and wreak havoc in the body later. You have these different energy systems in the body, and through the reading of and watching the segment of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he describes these energy centers, as you know, as the chakra system. These are real systems. You have glands that are in each of these energy systems, the chakras, that have a brain of its own, a mind of its own, excretes hormones and chemicals on its own individually. You would call this brain the ganglion. It's a bundle of nerves, it's a complex. And very interestingly, she found a correlation to the archangels of what she was studying and the chakras and the internal environment, how they operate very much like the archangels and you. We will explain. You actually have two chemical messengers. You actually have messengers. Neuropeptides and neurotransmitters. They are your archangels. Their sole purpose, the neurotransmitters, is to actually activate the neuropeptides, and they speak to the nerves. Once the nerves fire enough to actually activate the neurotransmitters and the neuropeptides, that messenger actually goes to each of the energy systems and activates that. Surprisingly, very shockingly, the organ that is responsible for your fourth chakra are the